we're going to talk recruiting all week. I mean, National Signing Day was this week, and the fact that the biggest recruitment overall for the University of Miami might have been this new coaching staff, headlined on the offensive side by you, because you were expected to be, as we know it, the next offensive coordinator at the University of Alabama. What was Manny Diaz able to do to be able to recruit you to come to the University of Miami?
Well, I think, you know, first and foremost, I've always had a lot of respect for Coach, having competed against him in the past, and obviously admired from afar the work that he's done as a defensive coordinator. I've known people that know Coach, have worked with him, and any time that his name has ever come up, it's always been very positive, not just as a coach, but what's really important is as a person, his core values, the way he handles himself day to day. And so I knew all those things about him, and then as he started to talk to me about the opportunity here, I was really excited about the vision he had for the program, about the vision he had for our offense, and the role that I was going to be able to come and try to execute for him. So as we talked and the talks started to heat up, obviously my family this isn't a one-man decision, this is a family decision, and we talked through all the pros and cons of it. You know, we just felt this was a great opportunity, and this was a good timing for us to be here.
It could almost seem odd to other people, knowing that you could be the OC at Alabama who perennially contends for national titles, but to come to the University of Miami, can you understand how that sounds maybe different for other people to accept?
Well, I would say this, the people that know me know that I've maybe not always done in my life what everybody thinks I should do. And so, you know, my faith is very important to me, and we've prayed a lot about this decision. Every time we have a decision, we pray about it. And, you know, again, it's a family decision, and there's so many things involved in these decisions. And I think that sometimes the fans or people outside just look at the very basic, simplistic reasons to stay or go or what to go, but there's a lot of layers to these things that can become involved. But the big thing is that this is a football program that I believe is on the cusp of doing things, great things on a national scale. I think we can recruit the greatest players in the country here. I think we have the greatest tradition, obviously, here at this university. There's obviously a commitment from the administration with the facilities and the things they're trying to do. And then you combat that with Coach Diaz and the vision that he has for it, and the energy and the excitement. Again, for me, it's a blessing for me to be here and come here and try to execute just the role that I have within this program. And we just think, like I said, just think it's just a tremendous opportunity.
You speak of the excitement. There was certainly a groundswell just 2 years ago for this program and the way that they got out to a 10-0 start, but from there things got rocky, especially on offense. And you take over an offense that ranked 104th in the country. How different will your offensive approach be than what we saw out of Mark Richt, and how different will it look?
Well, you know, I can't speak to how different it will look, because I got to be honest with you, I don't really know. I haven't studied it that much or anything, but you know, Coach Richt is an outstanding coach first and foremost, and he's an outstanding offensive coach, and he's had just a brilliant career. But I think what we're going to do, and again, I'm not saying that they didn't or whatever, I can only speak to what we're going to do, is we're going to try to create a very multiple, very diverse system that's going to use personnel groupings, formations, shifts, motions, and then be multiple with our tempos. We're going to be able to go fast. We're going to be able to huddle and change tempos on people, and then have hopefully a very, very diversified multiple in the run game and the pass game that just, again, tries to put pressure on defenses and make people cover the entire field. And you know, the big thing we have to do through this whole process, though, is build our system, build a foundation, but then figure out what our players do well, who our best players are, and then find ways to put them in a position to be successful. And I think that's what good coaches do, is ultimately you get your players on the field that give you the best chance for success, and you try to put them in positions where they can excel.
You take over an interesting quarterback room right now. Tate Martell, we're still waiting to hear if he'll get clearance from the NCAA, as are you folks, obviously. But Jarrell Williams, then you've got Nkosi Perry, who's kind of the incumbent starter. When you look at this quarterback room, is there any incumbent starter, or is this an open competition come spring?
Yeah, again, I can't speak for Coach, but from what I've talked with Coach, it's going to be an open competition, 100%. I mean, everybody, that's probably going to be on the entire football team, but for sure within that room, you know what I mean? So there's guys that maybe a guy that's been here a little bit, but as I told the quarterbacks already, is that everybody's got a clean slate right now. You know, so you come in, I have no preconceived notion of anybody about their on the field, off the field, demeanor, or whatever. Right now, you can, you know, your life starts today, if you will, a little bit. So I'm excited to get to know them all, but it's going to be an open competition. I think we're going to obviously give them all an opportunity to compete and show what they can do. And ultimately, what they do on the field or don't do on the field is going to be the thing that decides who the starter is going to be, because they're going to have to earn it. You know, everything's going to be earned, and that's the way it should be. And I'm excited about the room because I do think there's a lot of talent in the room. But the guy that's going to grind, prepare, do the things, make the sacrifices on and off the field to win the respect of his teammates, and does all those things will ultimately be the guy that goes under center for us. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's a great responsibility when you become the starter here at Miami.
You must like a pressure cooker. You coached at Michigan. The big house can't be easy. Offensive assistant. Then in Tuscaloosa. Now here. Is there something about you just enjoy the pressure in the moment coaching?
Well, you know, one thing that I've learned over the years is, you know, there is no pressure if you prepare. And that's the way I've always coped with maybe people in my family or friends, and people ask me like when I played quarterback at Michigan State or wherever, and they'd be like, how do you do that? You know, like my wife will say to me sometimes, how do you call that play at 3rd and 4? You know, and it's, you prepare, and then you don't worry about the outcome, because the outcome will take care of itself, if that makes sense. So I focus on the preparation. I focus on the day-to-day things of doing everything I can to prepare our players and prepare myself to give our team the best chance to win. And at the end of the day, if you do all those things, there really isn't any pressure. You just do what you do, and the outcome will always take care of itself.
Canes fans have been impressed with Manny Diaz and his abilities on the defensive side of the ball, and you certainly coach with a great defensive coach and defensive mind, Nick Saban. Is there any qualities that you see that are similar? I mean, we know this is Manny Diaz's first head coaching job, but still, the fact to be able to see if there's a correlation between a very great head coach and even a young head coach.
Yeah, I think in the short time here, I've seen some similar things. They're both very intense, and Coach Diaz is very intense. They're both very detailed. And Coach Diaz has really impressed me with his organization and the details of things and how he wants them done. And they're both very, very good communicators. You know, Coach Saban obviously is an outstanding communicator, and Coach Diaz has shown me in the 3 weeks or so I've been here his ability to not only communicate with our staff, but communicate his expectations to our football team here. And the couple times that I've seen him interact with our entire team has been really neat. And you can just tell Coach Diaz has great leadership qualities, and obviously the administration here recognized that when he was an assistant coach here, the reason why they wanted to bring him back so quickly and as they did. So it's been very impressive.
I got a couple more for you.
Yes.
More fun after this one, okay? Okay. Let's talk a little bit about Pro Bowl right now. The Miami Dolphins, there has been a lot of talk about them tanking for Tua. You got to know Tua Tagovailoa and had a very big part in the quarterback he's become at Alabama. What led you to believe he's going to be successful at the next level when he is drafted in 2020?
Oh, he will be, man. He's a great player, but every bit of what a great player is, he can match it with his character. I mean, Tua is A+ player, and he's an A+ person. He is got great integrity, great character. He's a team guy. I mean, he's so fun to coach because he was so coachable. He was never satisfied with the way he played, and he always wanted to get better, and he always did it with a good attitude. He'd come in, very rarely over the year I was there did he ever have a frown on his face, or, you know, and sometimes occasionally I would say, man, hey, something's bothering you. What is it? Oh, nothing. You know, and then he would let me know and would get off his chest. But that was a very, very rare moment. For the most part, he came over, man, and he was ready to go. Here's why he'll be successful. He's very talented. He's got arm strength. He's got feet. He's athletic, but he also has tremendous instincts, maybe the best instincts of any quarterback or player I've ever been around. His ability to make quick, spontaneous decisions, you know, unscripted, is, I think, what's really separates him and sets him apart from a lot of the guys I've been around. So I don't think anybody should tank, but certainly the team that ends up getting him is going to be getting not only an outstanding player, but just a tremendous person as well.
You had to be jealous. I mean, being a former quarterback in a Power 5 program, you're like, why didn't I get those abilities?
I told him that on multiple occasions. He'd ask, like, Coach, what did you do? I said, well, I didn't do anything as good as you did it. So let's just get that right on the table. Yeah. But no, he again, very humble. The guy's got great humility to him, and I think that's one of the things that makes him so likable for his teammates, and why his teammates respected him so much, because the season that he went through, a lot of guys could have turned into what I called the superstar quarterback syndrome, or celebrity. I call it a celebrity quarterback.
Okay.
I said, don't ever become a celebrity quarterback. He never did that. He stayed humble. He always put himself on a level with his teammates, no matter what other people were maybe saying about him or doing for him. He always lowered himself and was just a great teammate. I would see him encouraging scout team players during practice. You know what I mean? Just the guy's real, man, and he gets it. And he certainly has a great family, which I think has helped kept him grounded during this time.
And one of those quarterbacks was Jalen Hurts, that you had potentially the chance to bring over with you, which clearly would have made the offensive transition a little bit easier. How close was he?
I think he was very close, but again, I think it was a very difficult decision for him. Obviously, we wish him all the best. He had to do what was best, what he felt was best for him and his situation. But again, another guy that's extremely competitive, very smart, a grinder, loves to work, loves to prepare. And the big thing, I said this during the national championship week. These two guys really made each other better because of the competition they brought every day, and that's something that I'm going to try to instill in this room, is that iron sharpens iron, as one man sharpens another, and we've got to get that room to a point where nobody can relax every day. Everybody's sense of urgencies are going to be on high, because that's how a game is. But if we can do that in that room to one another and create that kind of competition, it's only going to make our football team better.
Have you had the chance to actually get out and see Miami?
No. Well, a little bit when we drive on recruiting things around, and I don't know where I am really, but we were here for the Orange Bowl. I've been here on vacation a few times, and obviously that was one of the reasons that drew us down here as well, is that my wife and I have always just really admired this area, and we always say what if we could ever live there? So, hopefully we get them down here soon, and we will be living here. So,
have you taken the family down to Key Biscayne? Have you gotten that far? Or?
I've been there, but they haven't. So my wife will actually be here tomorrow, and then my wife and kids are actually all coming back next weekend. So we'll make it. It'll be more real for them once they all get down. So
who does the scouting for the house? How does that work?
That's all my wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a say in anything. It's yes, ma'am. You know what I mean? I'm in like 5th place in my house, behind my wife, my 2 kids, and my dog. Then I'm the last one. So.
All right. So easy one for you.
Yes.
Dog's name? What kind? And
it's Gus Gus.
Gus Gus.
And it's a chihuahua.
A chihuahua.
Yeah.
Is it named from Cinderella?
Yes. The mouse in Cinderella. I think that's who it was. But
you didn't name it though.
No, I did not. I should have had the rights though, because I'm the one that takes care of them. I feel like now. So.
How do you find time?
Well, when I come home and everybody's mad at me about something, Gus sit on my lap, and I'll talk to Gus, and everything's good. And if we ever lose a game, he never gets mad at me. So, I got to hear it from the family about why I called this player, why didn't I do that on 3rd downs, just like the fans. So the dog doesn't ever criticize me, so it's good.
Harsher critics, last question. Harsher critics, your wife or the fan base?
I think my wife and my daughter are probably worse. My son's always pretty good. He'll be always like, hey, Dad did the best he could. You know what I mean? Like, he sticks up for me. But wife and daughter, they can get a little critical at times now. Like, what were you doing? Why don't you do this or whatever? And I always say, hey, have those suggestions earlier in the week. Let's not wait till after game day to do it. Let's don't be second guessing. If you got some good information, some good intel, let's get it in the game plan.
You have enough quarterbacks to deal with, and then you got the Monday morning quarterbacks.
That's exactly right, except for their Saturday night, Sunday, and Monday quarterbacks. So,
good stuff.
Awesome.
Best of luck to you, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.